let's talk about the unit of value again. Let's talk about green paper. What is $500,000? Right? It's an exchange of value. Mm-hmm. What your child is really telling you is that I'm willing to work. Let's say that they knit socks. They work at a sock factory and they knit socks, and that's what they do for 30 years. What your child is really saying is that I think that I should knit socks for 30 years, and in exchange for that, what I would like a lake house. Mm-hmm. Right? What they're really talking about is an exchange of their time for something they perceive value in.
Right.
The number happens to be $500,000 today. Tomorrow it's $1 million. Right? The number is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Really is what is it that motivates you, and we all have a choice. That's why I ask them, like, begin with the end in mind. Like, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Like really define it. Like, well, my goal is this, and I'm going to say, okay, well, why? Right? So let's really get down to it. Like, let's say your goal is to live off the land, and you want to be one with nature. You want to spend more time meditating. You want to spend more time being thankful for these things. You want to be a minimalist. You don't need to take the same path necessarily that I'm taking, because you don't need all these things, right? There are public beaches. There is so much land that's not being utilized, that's owned by the government or that's available to the public. There are there's all this opportunity to go out. You can go camp to your heart's desire, especially if you go out west, right? Mm-hmm. So like, you don't need money necessarily the same way. Whereas, let's say that my goal or his goal, like he said, hey, I want to have a lake home in Mooresville on Lake Norman. Well, if you'd have bought the house that I just bought a few weeks ago in 1999, sold for $265,000, okay, in 1999, right? Now, if you would have worked hard and you wanted to own that lake home and you bought it for $265,000, let's say, or $295,000, whatever it was, you might say, well, that's an awesome deal. That's a reasonable price. You should do that. It's a cottage on the lake. It just sold for $1.2 million. Now you're going to go, oh, that's insane. Why would anybody do that? Why would you spend 1.2? Right? Like, the number is irrelevant.
Lakes are nice, though.
No, they are. but really, it's not the number. It's the goal. The goal was never to have a $1.2 million house. The goal was to have the lake home on the house.
Right.
I mean, the home on the lake.
Yeah.
Right.
You got
And
a
so I
good
think
dock? You got a good dock?
Oh, yeah, a bunch of them.